few days ago on Muslims of the World, there was a post that had some music involved in it, and some well-intended people got really upset and started saying that music is absolutely forbidden. What does the Quran teach us about music? Is it completely forbidden or is it conditioned? In order to address this important question, I want you guys to look at the next verse that's going to follow this, and remember an important axiom: as-siyaq nisf al-ma'na. That context, as my teacher told me, is half of the meaning. Now, the context of this verse is super important. It happens towards the end of the Medinan period. A person who would later become Muslim comes on the day of Friday with a tremendous caravan of goods from Syria, and at that time, scholars state that the economy of Medina was struggling, so people got really excited. And he entered Medina around the time of Friday prayers. People became so excited, Allah says, وَتَرَكُوا قَائِمًا. They got up and ran out of the masjid. Only 12 people stayed. I need you guys to pay attention to this. This is very important, a little bit complex. Allah says that they saw two things that caused them to get up and run out of the salah. وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا. Allah says they saw a business and they saw something called lahu. So back in those days, when you would come to a city with your goods, the only way that you could let people know that you had arrived is by playing musical instruments. Like in Egypt back in the days, when people would bring the ambuba, they would like click, 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 click. They would have music or make a loud noise to let us know they were there to sell it. So the overwhelming majority of scholars of tafsir, almost all of them say that two things entered Medina that caused the people to get up and leave their prayer. Number one was business, and number two is lahu, and the majority say that that was someone playing musical instruments. We have a very important principle in usul al-fiqh that says if something haram is mentioned with something that's halal, it's impossible for us to believe that Allah or the Prophet would not tell us, yo, that thing's halal, but that thing is haram. Now pay attention. So we know that tijara is halal, and most of the Sahaba and the Mufassirin said that lahwa was music. Did that verse say that tijara is halal, but music is haram? You should stay away from that. You shouldn't have listened to it, or was it quiet? And those of you who understand Arabic, you know that the hukm of the atf is the hukm of the ma'tuf, right? That tijara and lahu all have the same ruling according to the language. So the verse teaches us that just like business, tijara, transactions and sales are generally halal, but there are some that are conditioned haram. Music in general is halal, but there are some forms of music that are conditioned and are haram. This is not my opinion, although I agree with it. Imam Shafi, Imam al-Maqdisi, Imam al-Shawkani, great Imams, Sheikh Jad al-Haq and others wrote about this. And Sheikh Jad al-Haq, the former great scholar of Azhar, explained in Arabic what I just explained to you now. So what that means is the hadiths that people share that seem to prohibit music, or the verses of Quran, which most of them are interpreted anyways, according to this opinion, are conditioned to be haram when the music itself is haram, but not all form of music or art is haram. Now, what is agreed upon, scholars, is that someone that doesn't have training or a background and goes around and forces their opinion on other people and tells them that things are haram which may not be haram, they all agree that that is haram.